Can I talk to you for a minute? Listen, this can't be true. Do you hear this?
They poisoning the food. Even our water got disorder. Economy cruel. Kingdom of heaven gotta suffer this poverty too. What could a fly nigga do if life or death was laid out in front of you? Which side do you choose? Cause these days I got a lot to lose. Thinking that one day I'll get my spot removed and all my blemishes. Brother now home from his bit, suspended sentences. Now he repenting, praying that he could forgive his witnesses. He told me that it's easy to die and harder to live in this world full of crackers where they distract you with images. Use our genocide to make businesses and structures so they can only benefit. That ain't even how ill it gets. Tell me what you do, how they got us in boxes like a Rubik's Cube. Free but we refuse to move. See how they abuse the Jews. Oppression got me so tired I'm about to pass out. I pray the Lord return before I flash out and pull a Mac out and black out.
Can it be for real?
It don't matter where you see me, I'm always by the lamb like CD. Scoring on my op like a 3P. Life is a bitch, but still in all, mine's looking like the 2020 Riri. And lingerie, hard for me to hear what my opponents say when they got guns that could kill us from a mile away. Babies going missing, how we list a different child a day. Hard for you to smile every night when you know down to pray. Knowing if they kill you on camera, they probably get away with paid leave. Such an embarrassment, how that be happening? They be capping from the lieutenant down to the captain. It's like the devil when they made a pact with them. Take me back to it. We was ruling all the laws of God. We was doing them before he cut us off, before he ruined them. Tell me this a dream. Got me feeling like we never knew of him. I pray he wake me when he dropped the bombs, like gluing them and start removing them.
Is this what it's come to? Is this what y'all want? I guess so. I'ma give you what you want. Woke up, chose violence on the wicked man. Mapped it out, changed my mind, I have a different plan. Who's telling the truth if it isn't Dan? Gucci made before jail cause I'm a different man. Had a couple of folks that went left on me. Spit on my name and then they stepped on me. Pray to Yahweh, he blew the breath on me. Better late than never, that's what the chef told me. Seen a few things that I cannot forget. Papoose dropped Remy to get a boxer chick. It can't be all love if it's not respect. Don't gamble with me if I cannot collect. Bet on yourself, go ahead and roll the dice. I don't care for designers, I think they're overpriced. The skinny jeans look is finally dying out. And where they heard I'm coming, I heard them crying out. Get a lot, cause I get blessed a lot. Took a couple grand and invested in Tesla stock. Poke out my chest a lot, I'm not impressed a lot. On the Sabbath day, I'll probably get rest a lot. They say priest is soft, don't believe your mans. I got an AR-15 plus my feet and hands. Lead with the left, jab got him looking lazy. Mayweather beats, and that's cause the hook is crazy. Life is never easy, it's gonna be a hard fight. Keep a poker face, I gotta play my cards right. Same routine, sleep, pray, and make money. Roast so many bars, Kevin Hart, it ain't funny. Oh Lord, I know the wolves are preying on me. Put my hands together and do a pray emoji. Till our ignorance is finally dying out. And when they heard I'm coming, I heard them crying out.
The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever.
Well, shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another edition of the Lines of Israel Sabbath class. I am your host, Priest Daniela, representing Lines of Israel and Maccabees TV, and I'm joined, as always, every week by the Elder Zahab. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God for allowing us to live to see another week, to be able to gather together and to, be on one accord and one mindset as far as going over the Lord's word on a set-apart day. I appreciate all you brothers and sisters being here. We never take you being here for granted, as we always tell you. So let's run it down. I want to shout out everybody that's watching us on YouTube. You guys on YouTube, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channels, please. Make sure you guys hit the notification button to make sure that you are always notified every time that we are live. Okay, all praises to the Most High. So, yeah, again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. We appreciate everybody being here. You guys on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure that you guys hit the notification button so you guys can be notified every time that we go live. All right. Shout out to my brother Nasiah. Our own Nasiah conversation last week was a little bit hectic for me, but I want to shout the brother out regardless of the status of Nasiah TV. We appreciate everything that he has done over the years, and whatever his decisions is with that going forward, we support the brother either way, and we support him and whatever endeavors he has in the future as well. All right, so we appreciate our brother Nasai as always. And last but not least, you guys on Clubhouse. Guys, make sure you guys ping people to the room. Today's lesson on a scale of 1 to 10, in terms of whether you should listen or you should actually watch it, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say it's 1,000, that you guys should click the link at the top of the room and come over to YouTube and pay attention to a lot of what I'm going to show you. We're going to be watching a lot of videos today together. Very, very heavy on videos today together. I must say that there are portions of today's lessons that are quite hard. They're quite difficult. It will trouble your spirit, but it's supposed to. The lesson is provocative, is to provoke us all to think and to come together, because perilous times are here and things are going to progressively get worse. Right? So we need to know these things. So sometimes I have to jog people's memories. And some of the things that we're going to watch, maybe some of you brothers and sisters are too young to remember. You might have been alive, but you're too young to remember these things. Or you weren't even born yet, some of you. So I got to show you what took place for you to understand the foreshadowing of what's about to come. With that being said, before we get started, Elazab, if you want to unmute, if you have anything that you want to say, the floor is yours.
Hey, Shalom, King. Shalom. How's everything?
Everything's good, King.
Volume? My volume good?
You sound good. I can hear you.
All right. All praise to the Most High. Barakatah Yahweh. Ba'ashama Mashiach Yahushai. Thank the Most High that we made it for another Sabbath, right? Always giving honor and glory. And yeah, man, we are in perilous times, like you said. A blind man should be able to see that, right? And yeah, man, I'm excited to see what the class is, man. Hey, man, I got a text on the 24th. I guess I'm a wicked Negro because I'm still here. I wasn't raptured up. And you still here, priest, so you a wicked ass dude, bro.
I know. They're back in the for those that are a certain age that grew up in Christianity. For those of us that grew up in Christianity, there was a movie that came out. Did it come out in the 80s, y'all? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. It was called Left Behind.
I want to say 90s.
Yeah.
Or maybe they redid it in the 90s.
Maybe. It came out in the 90s, maybe. It's called Left Behind. So right. I guess we've been left behind. I guess if the rapture happened, we've been
working on a class on that, man.
Yeah.
How our people get easily carried away is not even funny, man. That's what happens when you let one man talk. You don't fact check. You don't open your Bible. You don't say, hold on, I got a question. The scriptures clearly tells you. And people like, nah, man. Now, let me ask you this. I know you're about to start, priest, real quick. Would you be wrong to spoil those stupid people? Meaning that somebody was selling a car, right? And you needed a car. And you know damn well that they off as hell because they go, but they sell you the car for like $1,000. And it's a $30,000-$40,000 car. Would you be wrong to spoil them?
No, because you didn't steal it. The price is the price. If somebody offers you something for a price, the price. That's it. So I don't think you'd be wrong for that. Personally, could be wrong. You guys could put your opinion in the chat if you guys think differently. But if somebody's offered me a car for $1,000, that the blue book value might be $8,000, but because you think you're about to be raptured tomorrow,
right?
If you want to give it to me for $1,000, I wouldn't be wrong to buy it. Now, would I do it knowing that you don't know what the hell you're talking about? That's another conversation. Maybe I wouldn't do it out of the my conscience wouldn't allow me to do it.
Right.
I mean, somebody, let's just say the person that they're selling it to really needs a car, and that's a great price, and they buy it. They didn't sin, as far as I'm concerned. Right. Now, if y'all disagree, y'all can go ahead and put it in the chat. We're just, kind of speculating and talking out loud. With that being said, let's get to today's lesson. Again, you guys on Clubhouse, I definitely would advise you guys to click the link at the top of the room and come over to YouTube because we have a lot to go over today. Lots and lots of videos to watch. All right, so let's get right into it. So today's lesson is entitled, and there were so many different directions I could have gone, I wanted to go, but the PowerPoint would have been 200 slides, and y'all not going to sit around for 200 slides, right? So I had to kind of leave a lot of things out. There's a lot of places I could go, but I think you guys will get the general idea. So the question that I posed to myself and that I pose to you guys as well, everybody that's listening, is when all hell breaks loose, will we be faithful? And the proof text or the scripture that we're going to actually draw from today is Isaiah chapter 32. That's going to be our primary focus that we're going to draw inspiration for today's lesson from. It's very easy for all of us, myself, Elder Zahab, all of us, to say, you know, when a tribulation comes, you're going to stand strong and you're never going to give up and you're always going to be faithful. It's easy to say until you find yourself in that situation. It's easy to say, right? Didn't Simon Peter feel that way until he felt that pressure? He felt the same way. The apostles felt, when they sat at the table with Yahushua at the Last Supper and Yahushua said somebody was going to betray him, they were looking like, what are you talking about? No, we're not going to betray you. Is it me? Is it me? Nah. And then what happened a few hours later? Peter betrayed him. You understand? So it's easy to say things, but when you're in a situation, it's a different thing. Yahushua said in the Gospels, when I return, will I even find faith on the earth? Because, you know, a Negro talks a good game. That goes for all of us. But the time is going to come where we're going to be proven, literally, as to see what we are and where we stand. With that being said, let's get into today's lesson. We're going to start off today with reading from the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. And we're going to start from verse number 1. It takes great boldness to do what it is that we do. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. We the Israelites, we stand in great boldness against these other nations, these people that have afflicted us. A lot of our people, they want to assimilate. They want to fit in. They don't want to offend the powers that be. They don't want to do that right now, especially with Donald Trump in office and white America kind of leaning right. White people being more openly racist, right? A lot of Negroes are trying to make sure that they assimilate and they fit in and that they are accepted. That's why you had so many black people, black conservatives, and even black churches, to their shame, that when the young man, I ain't going to call his name because I don't know how this algorithm works. I don't want the video to be shadow banned or nothing. That guy that got shot a couple of weeks ago, you had a lot of black people, and especially a lot of black Christians that were afraid. So they wanted the world to know, especially their oppressor, that I'm not like the rest of these Negroes. I'm not celebrating. I loved him too. And he was a good Christian. And he was a martyr. And we love him. And we don't care about all the things that he said about our people. We don't care about the way he talked about George Floyd. We don't care about what he said about Martin Luther King. We don't care about what he said about the black woman. We don't care. We love him, massa. But we're different. We're righteous men. And a righteous man is going to speak the truth, even if it makes those that oppressed us upset. That's what separates us from them. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness. It takes great boldness to do that. Before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. When you see a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American that is unapologetic about where you stand, and you stand 10 toes down, that bothers Esau. That bothers them in their spirit. And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Because the way that we're going to be delivered, the way that we were delivered from Egypt, according to the text, was strange. That's why when the Israelites went and they were scouting out the land of Israel, the land of Canaan, you had the other nations that had heard what the Most High did to the Egyptians. And it was unlike anything that they had ever heard or seen before. And so this deliverance that we are dealing with, pursuant to the book of Jeremiah chapter 16, is going to be even greater than when we left Egypt. So it's going to be a strange thing. And it's so far beyond anything that people can comprehend with their mortal minds, their mortal thoughts. Verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb and a reproach. Yeah, they call us, like the Israelites, the ones of us that teach, they call us Power Rangers, right? They mock us. Look at you guys in your Power Ranger outfits, right? Back in the days when we used to teach on 42nd and Times Square, right? The police department had a nickname for the Israelites, the elders they used to teach out there. They used to call the elders the Black Pirates, because if you go back and you look at some of the videos from the 90s, the brothers had the headscarf. The headscarf looks like the pirate scarves that they used to wear. The pirates used to wear, right? And there's also literally something called a pirate shirt that we used to wear back in the days. I still have one. So we were going around and we would wear those long, the elders would go back and wear those long boots that come all the way up to the knees. So it kind of looked like the attire of pirates. So the police department would call us the Black Pirates. That was their name for us back then. So we were a proverb and a reproach. They look down on us. We're just angry Black men, angry Latino men, angry Native Americans. We don't have jobs. We're broke. We don't have women. We're uneducated. We never went to school. That's how they looked at us. Verse 4, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. Yeah, these guys aren't anything. They're not going to amount to anything. They're just going to die believing that fake lie that they're the Black Israelites. Here's the thing, though. And I give praise to the Most High, and I praise the Most High that I've been around long enough to see the perspective. The greatest thing the other nations could have did, especially Esau, was take us for a joke. I know that sounds strange to a lot of people. It's one of the greatest things Esau ever did for this movement. Because we were able, what you guys are seeing today, how far spread and widespread this movement is, it wasn't like that in 93, 94 when I was first coming. No, it wasn't like that. Esau took what we was doing, standing on the corners for a joke. They used to laugh at us. You're not a threat. And because they didn't deem us a threat, they didn't have what they have today with the Christian apologists and all the surveillance and the Southern Poverty Law Center, right? And Canary Mission and all these things that they're trying to do now. When the movement has expanded all over the world and tried to undermine it, they were supposed to do that when the movement was in its infancy, and they didn't. All praises to Yahweh, they didn't. So the Most High knew exactly what he was doing. Anyway, let's continue. Verse 5, it says, how is he numbered among the children of God? Like how? These are the people that we laughed at, and his lot is among the saints. Therefore, have we erred? You made a mistake. That was an error, underestimating this movement back in the 90s when it was in its infancy. That was an error. You allowed us a whole bunch of time to get our doctrine together, to get out in these streets and do grassroots missions, and through the spirit and power of the Most High, get out there. And a lot of people woke up, and then we got on YouTube in its infancy, and this thing exploded. And now you're trying to play catch up. It was too late. It was an error because the cat is out the bag now. People know who they are.
Also, if I might add, the splits too, when they did try to infiltrate, and a lot of splits, that made it worse. It splintered the group, and it splintered to 1,000 pieces. Now it's impossible to
1,000 groups, and you can't buy everybody off because the elders used to wait. And these are not stories that y'all haven't heard. The FBI and all of them used to come to the school and try to buy the leaders off. And the Most High took the sledgehammer and broke this thing into 1,000 different splinter groups, which everybody says it's off. But in the spirit, I always tell people, it's the Most High did that, so that you can't buy everybody off. You can't write that many checks, right? Anyway, let's continue, because that's not really what we're talking about today. We're just starting here. Verse number 6, therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness hath not shined unto us, and the Son of Righteousness has not rose upon us, right? Because Yahushua is not dealing with them, these other nations, and those of our people that make allegiance and alliances with these other nations because they want to assimilate. Christ is not dealing with them. Yahushua is not dealing with them. This truth has not arose on them. That's why these Black Christians like God Logic and the rest of them are sitting on camera crying for this damn devil, Charlie Kirk. Because the light of righteousness has not rose upon guys like that. Period. Philip Anthony Mitchell, Mike Todd, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar. The Son of Righteousness has not risen upon them. Let's read on. Verse 7, we wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. Now we go out week in and week out and we try to show it to them in the streets. We show it to them on social media. Nobody wants to hear it. Verse 8, What hath pride profited us? Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that has passed away. There's a changing of the guard that's happening. That's what we're seeing here in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. There's a changing of guard. The people that were the old guard, that were pushing that old narrative, since this movement has exploded and has gone worldwide, they're being exposed for being frauds and then being pushed out the way. That's why they're so desperate. And now that's why they're fighting so hard against this movement. They were supposed to do that in the infancy, and they failed. All right, let's move on. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 1. It says, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness. This king is Hamashiach Yahushua. Let's start off in Zechariah chapter 9 and pick it up from verse number 9. It says, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass and upon a colt, the foal of an ass, right? So this is the prophecy. Let's go to the book of Matthew 21 and see the fulfillment of prophecy. This is Matthew 21, verse 1. It says, and when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem and were come to Bethpage, unto the Mount of Olives, they sent Jesus, Yahushua, 2 disciples, saying unto them, go into the village over against you, and straightway ye shall find an ass tied and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them unto me. And if any man say aught unto you, ye shall say, the Lord hath need of them, and straightway he will send them. Verse 4. All this was done that might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, thy king cometh unto thee, meek, and sitting upon an ass, and a colt, the foal of an ass. We just saw that in Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9. Let's keep reading. Verse number 6. And the disciples went and did as Yahushua Jesus commanded them, and they brought the ass and the colt, and put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. So here we see Yahushua fulfilling the prophecy of Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9, right? Verse number 8, and a very great multitude spread their garments in the way. Others cut down branches from trees and strawed them in the way. Verse 9, and the multitudes that went before and that followed cried, saying, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Hosanna the highest. When you go and you read this in the Peshitta, in the Hebrew, it says, blessed is he, talking about Yahushua, that cometh in the name of Yahweh. This is proof that Christ and Yahweh are not the same. This is the king that's being spoken about in Isaiah chapter 32. It is Yahushua. Now, let's go further. Let's look at Revelation chapter 19. We're going to start from verse number 11. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. So Yahushua is going to wage righteous war against the other nations, and he's going to be crowned King of Kings. He's the one that once he conquers these other nations, he's the king that's going to reign in righteousness. It says, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Verse number 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire. This is the same description that we see in Revelation chapter 1. And on his head were many crowns, right? Because Christ is going to bring down all these other nations. He's going to subdue these other nations, and he's going to reign as the King of Kings. So he is the King of righteousness. He's the king that's going to reign in righteousness according to the scriptures. That is Yahweh Shai. Does everybody understand that? All right. I ain't going to read the rest of this right now because it's a lot to get through. Let's move on. Now, the second half of the verse says, and princes shall rule in judgment. So there's some people that's also going to be joint heirs and going to be joint rulers with this king. Who are these princes? Let's start at 2nd Ezra chapter 2. And we're going to pick it up from verse number 42. It says, I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number. So when Esdras saw this vision, the Most High didn't reveal to him the number. He just saw a great number of people standing on Mount Zion. When we get to the book of Revelation, the Lord is going to reveal to John that number that Esdras couldn't number. And they pray, and they all praise the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature. Who is that? That's talking about Yahushua. Taller than the rest. And upon every one of their heads, he set crowns and was more exalted, right? Because he's the king. Yahushua is the king. We're going to rule with him. We're going to be joint heirs with him, but he is the King of Kings. He subdued all the kings of the earth. He's going to put crowns on the 144,000's head, but understand, he is the top guy. And upon every one of their heads, he set crowns and was more exalted, meaning he's the King of Kings, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? Verse 45. He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off mortal clothing and put on immortal, and have confessed the name of God, Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? Now I should have got the other verse. It tells you that it's the Son of Man, which is Yahushua. So Yahushua is the King of Kings. But these princes are the 144,000 that's going to rule with him. Remember, the thought starts off that these are the people that are on Mount Zion with him. Now let's go to Revelations and let's get the rest of it. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 1. It says, I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion. That's the same thing we see in 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse 42. That lamb is that young man that's described in 2nd Ezra chapter 2. And with him, 144,000. That's the number that Ezra could number, having his father's name written in their foreheads. So these are the princes that are going to be crowned, that are going to rule in judgment. Yahushua is going to set us up, and we are going to administer judgment on this earth. That's what we're striving for now. That's the whole idea of what we're striving for now. Let's move on. Verse 32. Excuse me, verse 2. Isaiah 32, verse 2. It says, And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, and as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. I'm going to skip what I have on the screen here right now for the sake of time, right? Now, when it says a man is going to be as a hiding place from the wind, what man? Any man? Any man on this earth is going to be that? Any Negro is going to be that? No. Let's jump over to Revelation chapter 7, and let's pick it up from verse number 1. It says, And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor any tree. So these winds that are going to be blowing is the winds of destruction. But before they blow, something has to happen. Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of Israel. These are the men that are going to be the hiding place from the tempest that's getting ready to come. These are the men that the Most High is raising up, is raising up to prepare our people for what's about to come, so that you can be shielded from what's about to happen. You can be delivered from what's about to happen. These men are literally your protection. These men are literally your coverings. These are your leaders. These are your teachers. They are your covering. They are your protection from what's getting ready to come, as long as you abide under that protection. It ain't every Negro. It ain't any Negro. It's the men whom the Most High has appointed to be that covering for all of you, not just the women, for all of you. Let's move on. Now we're getting deep down. And as I said, some of this stuff is going to be troubling, but I'm going to say what I got to say. And if you're offended, you'll feel better tomorrow. I can't worry about you being offended today. See, things are funny till they're not funny. And our people are so addicted to social media. They follow stupid trends on social media. They think everything is funny. And what's happening behind the scenes on social media, there's a more nefarious, what's the word I want to use? There's a more nefarious conspiracy, if you want to say. A plan, a plot that's being executed that is separating us, the men, from our women. The algorithm is feeding the men negative images, negative portrayals of our women, and the men, I'm talking about Israelite men, forget about David, I'm talking about us. It's teaching us to hate our women, to want nothing to do with our women, to take our seed and plant our seed of women of the other nations because our women are hopeless. They're unsalvageable. That's what the algorithm is pushing. And on the covert side, it's doing the same thing to our women. It's teaching you to, quote unquote, decenter men. It's teaching you that swirling is okay. It's teaching you to be a divester, right? The same way you have the quote unquote passport bro movement amongst the men. They want to go to East Asia and, over there, the Philippines, to get wives. Let's be real. Our women have the same movement. It's called divesting. It's the same thing. And I'm telling y'all, that's being pushed on people on purpose. But it is especially detrimental to the women because you are the most vulnerable. I'm going to show. I'm not just saying that. He's just saying, I'm going to show it to you. We're going to go into a time machine and we're going to go back to when there was a natural disaster. And I'm going to show y'all from all the news reports who was getting taken advantage of. It was the women because you had no covering. Meanwhile, on social media, our people take part in stupid trends like this. And some of you Israelite sisters, you were seduced by this too on the low. Remember that whole conversation that took place last year? Man versus the bear. Would you rather be in the woods with a man or a bear? And our women chose the bear. Now it's funny. Haha, that's funny. Is it? No, because it's conditioning our people that are men in SHIT. You don't need one. And we're going to see later, you're going to need a man. Or you're going to be food for the wolves. I'm telling you. I told y'all today's class is going to be hard. You got to deal with it. You have to deal with it. So let's look at this stupid trend that trended on social media. Remember, the Bible says a man's going to be as a hiding place. Not any man, the Israelite man. But if you look at all men as being bad, you won't even see the righteous man as a place or covering for you, and you're going to be food when the society goes down. I promise you. Look at this video right here. Let's look at this real quick.
Rather be trapped in the forest with a black man or a bear?
Definitely a bear. I ain't going to camp.
The bear. A bear. Let's go with a bear.
Oh, a bear? I take my chances with the bear.
A bear. Why the bear?
Look at this generation of men.
I don't trust these men.
I ain't no telling what he'll do. I know what the bear tried to do. The bear tried to grab me, and I had to beat the bear up or something. You know how
she's gonna beat the bear up
against the gorilla. I would be one of the 100. I don't know the black man.
At least I would know his intentions. You don't really know what a human's intentions are going to be if you're alone with him.
I don't got no answer. Just the bear.
I feel like the bear wouldn't try to fuck me. You know, I'd rather die than hit him. You know what I'm saying?
Now, it's interesting she said that.
So let me get this.
The last thing was very interesting, and I apologize for the curse words. She said, you don't know the intentions. You know the intentions of the bear, but you don't know the intentions of a man. A man might try to sleep with her. That's what she said. So she chose the bear. As we're going to see, I want you guys to seal that in your mind. As we go later into the class, I'm going to show you exactly what was happening to the women during several different natural disasters in this country. I'm going to show you exactly what was happening. and why you need a man, not a bear. This is foolishness. I'm just letting y'all know. You got to be seduced by it if you want to. It's all good. We're gonna see eventually what's gonna happen. We're not there yet. Let's keep going. We're not there yet. Let's continue on with today's lesson. Isaiah 32, verse 3. It says, and the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. Who are the seers? Your seers are the watchmen, or the teachers, or the prophets, the people that stand on the wall, that when trouble is coming, they see it and they try to tell you about it before it happens. That's what it is today. The brothers that you see that are teaching, that you look at and say, that's just Malhalab, that ain't nobody. That's just Zahab, that ain't nobody. That's just Brother Debak. Man, I know Debak when he was Dorian Walker. Like, that's, hey, you know, who's that? That ain't nobody, right? But you're gonna find out these are the watchmen. You're not getting anybody else. You're not getting anybody else. The Most High chooses who he chooses. And pursuant to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 2, the Most High said he chooses the basement of this world. The people that you wouldn't expect, that's who God is choosing. Whether you like it or not. Let's look at Habakkuk chapter 2 and start from verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So the Bible was written down by the prophets. It was transcribed, right? That's being written down. Something transcribed is something that's written. And then it was transmitted, meaning it was spread out through a process of time so that all our people can have it. It was also translated so that even if we were in captivity and we spoke different languages, we would have access to these tables. And to make it plain means, hey, you know what? You speak English? It's plain for you in English, what God is saying. You speak French Creole? Here's the Bible. It's plain for you. You speak Spanish? Here's the Reina Valera. It's plain for you. Verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. The Bible says the vision is for an appointed time. And the appointed time is based on prophecy, not the date on a calendar. There is a sequence of prophecy that must take place. Like Elder Zahab said earlier, that's why you have the Christians bugging out about some rapture that didn't happen, because they don't understand prophecy. There are certain things that must take place in the earth before we ever see Christ, Yahushua, coming back. They can't see it because they don't keep the laws. The Bible tells us in the book of Psalms, a good understanding have what? All they that keep the commandments. Those are the guys that's going to understand the book. Those are the sisters that are going to understand the book. If you are a Christian, that means a lot of y'all support homosexuality. Y'all don't keep the Sabbath. Y'all don't keep laws. Y'all eat shrimp, pork, lobster, and crab, and everything else. You don't keep commandments, which is why you thought the rapture was last week. Okay? Or this week, whatever it was, Thursday, whatever the hell it was. Because you don't keep the commandments. We keep the commandments so we can see, hey, the vision is for an appointed time. What appointed time? When these tokens, like the Lord told Ezra in other parts of the book of Ezra, when these tokens, when these prophecies take place. So those that are righteous, that are watchmen and teachers, we could see it and we can let you brothers and sisters know. All right, let's move on. It says in the end of verse 3 says, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. So you're going to have a certain sect of our people that's going to actually listen, which is why I said earlier it was so good. At the time, we couldn't see it, but it was so good that Esau took us for a joke in the infancy of this movement. So that many people, those who the Lord deemed worthy, will be able to hear this truth and hearken unto it. Come in and learn, and then in turn go out and teach others. It was perfectly crafted by the Most High. This is the book of John, chapter 12. We're going to start from verse number 39. It says, therefore, they could not believe because that Esaias, which is Isaiah, said again, he hath blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart and be converted, and I should heal them. These things said Esaias, which is Isaiah, when he saw his glory and spake of him. Nevertheless, among the chief rulers also many believed on him. Let me translate that for y'all into modern times. There's a lot of our people that are in positions of power in this country that know what we're saying is true. I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about athletes. I'm talking about actors. I'm talking about people that are just rich in general, people in the business sector that have a lot of money, but they're interconnected with this system. They have assimilated to the system. The same was true during Yahushua's time. There was many chief rulers who received their seat and power from Rome, but they believed on Christ internally. They knew what he was saying was right. It says, but because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him. They kept their belief to themselves. Remember, Yahushua said, he that confesseth me, him will I confess before my Father. Well, these guys didn't confess Yahushua. They kept it to themselves. Lest they should be put out of the synagogue. They were more worried about their position. And I would venture to say their position came with a lot of benefits and perks, probably money. So they was like, I'm not going to say nothing. I know it's right. I'm not going to say anything. Verse 43, for they love the praise of men more than the praise of God. How many celebrities have we seen over the last decade or so that have come to know that they're Israelites and say it and then have to run back with it? Draw it back, pull it back. Why? Because they love the praise of men more than that of God. I've heard so many stories from different camps of celebrities that secretly reach out to camps and camp leaders, right? Then all of a sudden, after a while, you don't hear from them anymore. Why? Because a lot of these guys have handlers. And the handlers somehow or another get word that, hey, you dealing with them Israelites. And next thing you know, you don't hear from them anymore. Because they love the praise of men more than the praise of God, Yahweh. That's why there's a scripture that says, woe to you that have become rich in this life. That's not to say that being rich in this life is a bad thing, but it's woe unto you, because guess what? A lot of times people that become rich in this life become rich based on their connections or interconnections with the system. And if they were to actually speak the truth, they would lose a lot of their money. So a lot of them will not confess Yahweh, like it says in verse 42, to keep their connections and keep their money, because they love the praise of men more than that of Yahweh. Let's keep going. Verse 44, Jesus, Yahweh cried and said, he that believeth on me, believeth not on me, but of him that sent me. And he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. So going back to Isaiah 32, verse 3, it says, in the ears of them shall hearken. You're going to have a certain remnant of our people that's not going to love the praise of men more than they love God, and they're going to listen. Because you're going to see in Yahweh, in the works that he does, that he was sent by the Father. And likewise, those of you brothers and sisters that are in this truth today, the reason why you're here, you're not supposed to be here because of a man. You're supposed to be here because you see in the works of that man, in his fruits, whomever that man may be, you see the Father in that. And that's why you follow. Not because of the man. I hope everybody understands that. All right, let's move on. Verse 4. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge. Now, this word rash, I kind of put it up there for you guys so you guys can understand. It comes from the Hebrew word maha, which means people that are hasty or quick. People that are hasty or quick. You have a lot of our people that are quick to disagree with things that we say before they even understand what we're saying. You know, people that listen to respond but don't listen to actually understand. That's a lot of our people. When they start seeing certain things going down, they're going to begin to understand that they were too quick to speak against what we were saying. Because what we're saying is right. Let's look at James chapter 1, verse 19. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear and slow to speak and slow to wrath." That's the way we're supposed to be. As things begin to unfold, the people that were quick and hasty to say things, they're going to begin to understand that everything that we've been saying is right. Let's move on. "And the tongue of stammerers shall be ready to speak." Now, I want to go into that for a little bit because that goes very deep. Now, for those of you guys, again, you guys on Clubhouse, I would advise you guys to come over because I'm going to be showing brothers and sisters something, because this whole thing with stammerers goes deep, a lot deeper than people think, right? So when you look at the lexicon for that word stammerers, right, you have the word la'aig, right? La'aig. Now, when you look at the usage, the biblical usage, it's used for mocking somebody and also stammering. So it depends on the context of the scriptures when the word is used. It depends on the context. That's the key. I'm going to show you guys something. Let's go to the next slide. This is Isaiah chapter 35 and 16. And for those of you that are on YouTube, you guys can see it. In Isaiah chapter 35, verse 16, the same word that's used for stammering is also used for mocking. It's the same Hebrew word. So the context decides what is it talking about. In some instances, when it speaks about stammering, it's talking about mocking. And then sometimes when it's speaking about stammering, it's talking about language. You have to be able to be able to decipher the context to see what it's actually talking about. Okay? Now, in all the languages, wait, hold on a second. I want to make sure I typed that right. Okay, yeah, I'm right. In all the languages that we speak, the God that will deliver us from our captivities, brothers and sisters, also mocks us for being disloyal. Did you guys know that? In the same languages that we speak, when we read about our deliverance, the same God that's delivering us is mocking us at the same time. You know, for those of you guys that have children, you're a parent. Your child gets themselves into some sort of trouble. You don't warn the child, don't do this, don't do that. Whatever the age is, they could be 5, 10, 15, 17, whatever. You warn a child, don't do this. If you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. The child looks at you and shakes their head, yes, okay, I got you, mom. I got you, dad. I ain't going to do it. Then when you turn your back, what happens? The child does it anyway, right? And gets themselves into a world of trouble that they can't get themselves out of. Now, you as the parent are not going to sit there and let them stay in that situation, right? You're going to help them get out of the situation. But as you're doing it, what you going to do? Y'all know what y'all going to do. I told you. That was stupid. You should have never did that. You ain't thinking. You're mocking them. That was dumb because you don't use your damn head, right? Right? We do this. So why is it strange when God does it? It's not strange. Yes, God is going to deliver us, but at the same time he's delivering us, he's telling you, I told you, stupid. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 25. It says, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, like the example I gave you with your children. You tell them don't do something, they decide to hell with her, to hell with him, I'm going to do it anyway. And would have none of my counsel. Verse 26, I will also laugh at your calamity. That's what the parent will do. Look at you, stupid. Look at you. You got yourself into it. Look at you. I will mock when your fear cometh. Verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. You brought this on yourself. That's what God is saying. You did that because I told you not to do it. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, and start from verse 11. It says, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee. So the Most High is going to make a full end of all the nations that he scattered us in. Yet I will not make a full end of thee, but I'm going to spare you. But in sparing us, watch this, but I will correct thee in measure. Even though I'm sparing you, I'm going to correct you too. And I will not leave thee altogether unpunished. For thus saith the Lord, thy bruise is incurable, thy wound is grievous. You got yourself into something that you can't get yourself out of. I'm going to save you, but as I'm saving you, I'm going to correct you at the same time. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines. Here comes the mockery now. Remember, in verse number 11, the Lord said he's not going to make a full end of us, right? He's going to correct us and punish us. Now, as we're being delivered, watch this. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. What's that? Mockery. What happened to the people, the guys that you serve? Where are they? Why aren't they helping you? They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thy iniquities, because thy sins were increased. Why criest thou for thine affliction? What you crying about? Some of you parents say that to your children. What you crying about? You did that to yourself. What you crying about? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thy iniquities, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. Verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. So the Most High is coming right back, saying the same thing he said in verse 11. Everybody that devoured us is going to be devoured. But I'm going to laugh at you about the fact that all the gods that you sought after forsook you. But I'm going to get you out of it. And all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for praise. So this whole idea of stammering, yes, it's talking about other languages, but the idea is the Most High mocks us, even in delivering us. And the Most High is not getting off his throne to mock you face to face. He's doing it through his word, through his prophets. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8 and 9. It says, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. So we're not supposed to be picking up arms to try to deliver ourselves out of this condition. No, the Most High is going to rise up to the prey and deliver us. We have to wait on him. Our job is to teach. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent. Now, when the Most High said he's returning to us to a pure language, that is not talking about Hebrew. Because see, here's the thing. This is why sometimes you have to think. You have to use critical thinking. The Israelites, when we spoke the pure Hebrew at the time of Isaiah, we were going off. Even in the midst of us speaking the pure Hebrew, we were going off and worshiping other gods. So the Most High returning us to the pure language is not talking about returning us to Hebrew, because when we were speaking the pure Hebrew, we were off. The pure language in the context of this verse is the Most High returning us to the pure truth. We're all going to have the same understanding when it comes to scripture. Nobody's going to be going off. That is what it's referring to. And as we go on, I'm going to show you that. For then will I turn the people to a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. So no more is it going to be where you have this camp with this doctrine, this camp with this doctrine, this camp over here with this doctrine. Then you got those of our people that are into Christianity, those of our people that are into Islam and everything else. No, we're all going to be on the same page in this day where the Most High assembles us. We're going to all be on the same page, and we're all going to be speaking the same thing. That is what the idea of this pure language is talking about. It is not talking about we're going to get the Hebrew back, because we could get the Hebrew back and still be off. Now, for those of you guys that are watching on YouTube, the word for language in Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9 is the Hebrew word shapah. It's the Hebrew word shapah. The Hebrew word shapah, there's several different ways that it can be translated. But if you guys are looking at the screen of the PowerPoint, the first one says lip. And then language comes second, and then speech comes third, so forth and so on. So what should you be taking from what you're looking at? As I mentioned before, it depends on the context as to what it's talking about. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, I want you guys to look at Genesis 11, verse 6, because I think this is a very good example of what it is that I'm talking about. Let's read Genesis 11 and 6. It says, and the Lord said, behold, the people is of one. Then it has the number, the Strong's number there. And they all have one language. So if the understanding was in Genesis 11 and 6, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one and one language, and they all have one language. No, that doesn't make no sense. That's redundant. So the idea in Genesis 11, verse 6, it says, and the Lord said the people is one and one lip, and they all have one language. The one lip is talking about the people are all on one consent. They wanted to build this tower. They all had one consent. There was no division in their doctrine, in their ideology, and what they wanted to do. They were all united that they wanted to build this tower. Then it goes on to say, and they all had one language. Now it's literally talking about the language. They all spoke the same language. So the people were united in thought, and they all spoke the same language. And so the Most High would have to come down and confound them. That's the idea. So this idea of shapah just meaning that the Most High is going to give us back to Hebrew, no. It depends on the context. In Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9, when it says the Most High is going to return to us the pure language, the Most High is going to return us the pure lips, meaning truth. We're all going to be speaking the same thing. We're all going to be calling the Most High by one name. It ain't going to be Ahia over here, Yahuwah over there, Yahweh over there. You keep new moon this day. You keep new moon that day. We all have different dates for the Passover. All that is going away. We're all going to serve the Most High with one consent. That's the idea in Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. I just wanted to say that real quick, right? So coming back, before we go any further, coming back, the lips, the tongue of stammerers, and it says, and the tongue of the stammerers shall be ready to speak plainly, because in this time, the Most High is going to start bringing us on one accord. This is going to mainly happen when we go into the wilderness. When we go into the wilderness, that's where we're going to all be on one accord, and then we're all going to speak the same thing. I just wanted to say that, right? So let's move on. Now, let's look at Isaiah chapter 32. Let's read verse number 5. It says, the vile person shall no longer be called liberal. You know, growing up in America, a lot of our parents, and maybe even some of our grandparents, basically voted Democrat. They were liberals. They have been conditioned by the churches that they attended, the preachers. You know, Martin Luther King was a Democrat, and the whole Southern Christian Conference, all those pastors that were with Martin Luther King, they were all Democrats. Somebody on stage on Clubhouse is off mute. Make sure you guys go on mute, please. All right. They were all Democrats. And so Malcolm X, many, many years ago, warned us about what we call so-called liberals. So I want to go ahead and play this video real quick so you guys can just put it in your memory banks real quick. This is what Malcolm X said about liberals.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to, but the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling. You take him for
right. So when the liberals come, they're like foxes. They come and they look in a way where they're not dangerous, so you think they're kind of friendly. And then when they get up on you, they'll attack you, and you realize that you're dealing with a fox. That's what a liberal is. And a lot of our people have been seduced by this liberal ideology. But going all the way back to Malcolm X, he was warning our people about these things, but a lot of our people could not see it. Let's move on. Now, we're going to do a little bit of a history lesson. I'm allowed a sister to teach a little bit of a history lesson. How did we get trapped in these liberal philosophies that are destroying our people? Because it is liberal philosophies that's destroying our communities. How did this happen? It happened because of Lyndon Johnson, President Lyndon B. Johnson. Let's go ahead and let's watch this video real quick to get a little bit of a history lesson.
So all of us know that Black voters are a big voting bloc for the Democratic Party, so much to the point that the Democratic Party cannot win without the Black vote. And we've seen this happen just recently in the 2024 presidential election, where Kamala Harris did not win because she didn't get the percentage of the Black vote that Biden received, that Obama received, or even Hillary, and even Hillary lost. But I think we need to look a little bit back into history, and we need to revisit how it became to be so. And we cannot talk about how Black Americans became that powerful voting bloc for the Democratic Party without discussing LBJ.
Now, I want you guys to keep the thought. The liberal man, because we always look at the way that a lot of our grandparents and even some of us, our parents, even some of us think, or we were conditioned to think when we were younger, is that the liberals, the Democrats, were our friends. When in fact, they're just as vile as you guys say Donald Trump is. They're just as vile as you said George Bush was, or any other Republican president or senator or anybody else. They're all the devil. But they had a master plan to trap our people in this party. And a lot of their politics basically ushered in laws that have destroyed our communities, our people. It was a master plan executed with great precision. Let's continue.
We're going to talk about who LBJ really was and what he did and how he basically trapped Black voters in the Democratic Party, thus crushing the Black grassroots, and why that is problematic. Let's start with, when did Black voters actually start doing that? So remember, Black voters originally were Republican voters.
So did you guys know that? I'm hoping everybody knows that. Originally, Black people in America, foundational Black Americans, we were part of the Republican Party up until the time of FDR, which she's going to go into. Wait, this is a class. I don't. Go ahead, Tara. I really don't. They can't hear you on YouTube, so I don't usually. But go ahead.
Yeah, all right.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Coming out of slavery, we were Republicans. We came out in 1860. We were part of the Republican. That was our party. And somehow we got switched. But go ahead, brother.
Come on, one. Yeah, at the end of the class, I'll definitely allow you to come in and say something. Other one. Come on. So yeah, Elder Taraz 100% right. We started off as Republicans until the time of Franklin Roosevelt and the New Deal, and then some of us got duped into joining the Democratic Party, and then later on, as you're going to see, when Lyndon Johnson became president, the rest of us got duped and went over to the Democratic Party. Anyway, let's continue.
Why did Black voters flee the Republican Party in the 1960s? And let me go ahead and intercept here because the trolls love to do this and clip things. I am not telling you to join the Republican Party. I'm not a Republican. I'm a registered independent. But I'm showing you a pattern of what happened here. Why? Why did Black voters leave the Republican Party? A lot of this is the Goldwater effect. That is Barry Goldwater. So let's go ahead and get into how he helped make this happen. Vincent Hutchings, a political scientist who studies voting patterns at the University of Michigan, said the first major shift in Black party affiliation away from the Republican Party happened during the Depression. FDR's second administration, led by the New Deal, made the Democrats a beacon for Black Americans deeply affected by the crushing poverty that was plaguing the country. But many Black voters stuck with the party of Lincoln. This part's very important. As much as people tout FDR's New Deal, it is important to remember that that New Deal omitted some people. It is important to remember that FDR's New Deal had...
I need you guys to listen to this because many of you guys don't know this history. Especially if you're foundational Black American, it's important that you guys know this history. So when Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal came in, a lot of Black people thought that was a great time in American history. That's the way it's taught to you in school. This was a great time for Black people. It was not. It was not. Listen.
It is important to remember that FDR's New Deal had exclusionary measures that did not apply to Black Americans and also did not apply to Indigenous Americans. It's important to remember that redlining started under the New Deal. So remember that Black Americans weren't...
If you guys don't know what redlining is, that's dealing with buying houses, making it more difficult for Black people to buy houses in certain neighborhoods. That's redlining. That became a thing under Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal. Let's keep going.
Under the New Deal. So remember that Black Americans weren't able to move into those suburban neighborhoods and get those homes because they weren't able to get the loans from the bank, and they weren't able to get the loans from the bank because of redlining. So if you lived in a district that was redlined, the banks weren't going to lend to you. So even after the New Deal, the majority of Black Americans did not become voters for the Democratic Party. That happened under LBJ. Let's go back in.
All right, let's go to the next slide, right? Let's keep going. This is Candace Owens. We don't love Candace Owens, but sometimes even the enemy will tell the truth sometimes. So when somebody says something that's true, it's just true. Listen.
You want to wonder why Black people vote for droves and Democrats? It's because the textbooks make you think that LBJ, because he literally was the person who signed, the Civil Rights Act, but they don't contextualize that. They don't tell you that LBJ was an avowed racist. He was essentially forced to sign it because there were riots. He was angry about having to sign it and came up with a plan that he would, quote unquote, have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And
Lyndon Johnson is famously quoted as saying, if he passes the Civil Rights Act, which really destroyed our communities, he'll have those N-words, y'all know what the N-word is, voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And because Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, a lot of our people joined the Democratic Party, and we haven't been looking back since. So we think these liberals are our friends. Meanwhile, they're in Congress, they're your governors, they're your senators, both national and state, right? They're your mayors, they're your governors, they're all these things passing laws that destroy our communities. That's what they do. They're not our friends. Let's keep going.
That plan was welfareism, the Great Society Act. You don't learn that. A Democrat signed the Civil Rights Bill and you got all of your rights. It's very, here are the villains, here are the heroes. So
they rewrote their story.
They rewrote their story.
Yeah. Genius.
It is genius.
You got to respect the move, right? My mom used to always say, think like a snake, be pure as a dove. Mm-hmm. So you got to know how deep they'll take it. And what they do is they'll beat the living crap out of you mentally, physically, emotionally. And then they'll say, we were the ones that took care of you. Right. And you'll be like, no. But if you say that many, many times in different variations, you'll somewhat be like, okay. It's kind of like when you're in a bad relationship when somebody's like that you love will tell you the good things to confuse you, but his actions to everybody else will be like, oh, that guy doesn't love you.
You want
Right. It's just like you said, you've been in an abusive relationship. Take an abusive relationship, right? You have a man and a woman, right? The man is paying all the bills, making sure the woman doesn't have to work, so forth and so on. He's a great provider, but he whoop her ass every night. And anytime she tries to speak out and say, yes, you did something for me, but you beat my ass, he always says, but I did something for you. He always throws that back in your face. That's the Democrats. That's the liberals. We signed the Civil Rights Act. So you should thank us, right? That's the way they think. Let's move on. There's a lot to get through. Let's move on. Now, I want to play this real quick. Listen.
When the black community goes to the left and they ask them, when the black community goes to the...
I do want to say something real quick before I go any further. You guys on Clubhouse, I know sometimes I get told that the audio is a little muffled. It's because I have my phone close to the speaker. So the link is at the top of the room if you guys want to come over to YouTube and look at the videos. And the audio will be a little bit better, but I have to keep it close by. Sorry if it's a little loud, but I want to make sure you guys can hear it if you don't want to come over to YouTube. So my apologies if it's a little muffled, but that's why we put the link at the top of the room so you can come to YouTube and get audio than what you guys are hearing on Clubhouse. With that being said, let's go.
When the black community goes to the left and they ask them, can you feed me? Can you clothe me? Can you educate my children? Can you make me like you? Can you make me equal to you? They say, yes, we can do it if you just give us your soul. And for 50, 60 years, we've fallen for that lie. And we're at the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in the United States of America.
And that's true. Now, as you guys that are looking at it on YouTube can see, he's shilling. It's nothing but a room full of white people. So he's shilling for white people. So we're not looking at what he's doing. We're listening to what he's saying, because what he's saying is true. We are at the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in America. That is true. Even though he's pandering to white people, I got to put that aside because what he is saying is true.
Goes to the left and they ask them, can you feed me? Can you clothe me? Can you educate my children? Can you make me like you? Can you make me equal to you? They say, yes, we can do it if you just give us your soul. And for 50, 60 years, we've fallen for that lie. And we're at the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in the United States of America. Look at where they rule. Everywhere they rule. Detroit, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Memphis, everywhere they rule. Murder, mayhem, death, destruction, worse schools. They control every whorehouse, every crack house, every failing school. Haven't you done enough to my people? Have you killed enough of them? Have you put enough of them in prison, destroyed enough of their families? I hold you in utter contempt. And then you have the nerve to say you want to expand it. You have no shame.
And these liberals don't have any shame. But the veil has been lifted up because now we're in the age of information. Remember, I showed you guys Malcolm saying this in the 60s. And nobody took him seriously. But now we're 50, 60, 70 years post Malcolm X. Now the veil is being lifted because America's on its way out. So we're starting to see, ain't none of these devils our friends. Not the conservatives, not the liberals, not the independents, not the progressives. Ain't none of y'all our friends. Because you are behind everything that's destroying our community. I want to read a scripture real quick. This is Psalm chapter 12, verse 8. It says, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. What does that mean? If you want to know who the wicked is, just look at who is championed in our communities. Who is platformed in our communities. You will never see somebody like myself or Ella Zahab or Ella Tara or anybody else on the stage that speaks truth. Platform. What does it mean to be platformed? Meaning we're going to get an invitation to come and sit on CNN or MSNBC or any other show and have a conversation about the reality of things. But they'll bring somebody up on those platforms that are a degenerate. They'll bring a Tyler Perry up there. They'll bring anybody that's pushing degenerate things up there. They'll platform them. They'll bring them on Good Morning America. They'll bring them on NBC News. And they'll bring them on anything and expose them to our people. Look at what Kamala Harris did during her election. She brought Glorilla out. You know what I'm talking about? Kamala Harris was sitting down with Cardi B. You are a presidential candidate. And the people that you are exalting are some of the vilest of our communities. Because the people, the money people behind you, the so-called Jews with the money behind you, they're telling you that's who you need to be sitting with. Those need to be the representatives of the black community, the niggas. And when I say, I'm talking about the wicked niggas. That's how you know who the devil is. Let's move on. Now, it says the vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl bountiful. I want to get into the churl no longer being bountiful. Now, the word churl is not a regular Negro word. So we're going to define churl in a short moment. But before we get to the definition of what the churl is, I want to show you guys that the churl is no longer being called bountiful anymore. Let's get into that. What is that? So we have a video here that says what Trump's snap cuts mean for millions. I want to get into this. I need for you sisters that are listening to pay attention, because this is going to hit y'all worse than anybody else. If you are a sister and you on Clubhouse, you need to click the link at the top of the room and come over to YouTube and watch the video and get offended, because I'm about to talk to you sisters for a few minutes, and it's gonna hurt some feelings. You're gonna be offended, not because I called you out your name. You're gonna be offended with truth. It's gonna cut deep. You could be mad at priests, and I'm saying y'all could love me next week, but we got to talk about it. Let's watch the video. Listen.
Food aid in the United States is about to be slashed at a time when experts say it's needed more than ever.
Now, remember, you sisters chose the bear. Remember earlier I showed the video? Our women said we choose the bear. They said you'd rather be in the woods with a black man. Forget about the other nations. A black man or a bear. Our sisters chose the bear. Okay. Guess what? Donald Trump is cutting your SNAP benefits. Okay? I wonder if the bear is going to be able to help you pay your bills. That's what I want to know. Okay? Anyway, let's go.
Food aid in the United States is about to be slashed at a time when experts say it's needed more than ever. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, is facing the largest funding cut in the program's history. Here are 4 things to know about changes coming to the program and what it can mean for those reliant on the benefits. 1. President Donald Trump's big, beautiful policy and spending legislation will cut $186 billion in federal funding from the program over the next decade, according to projections from the Congressional Budget Office.
We're definitely witnessing a major shift in SNAP, unlike anything we've seen since the program was created.
Elaine Waxman is a senior fellow at the Urban Institute, focusing on food insecurity and federal nutrition programs.
It will change the structure in significant ways for the first time.
And to fill the gap for the roughly 22 million families on SNAP, states will have to help pay for the benefits their residents receive. Depending on the scenario, that could be as much as 15% of the benefits costs. Waxman worries the worst case, but possible scenario is states will have to pull out of SNAP because they can't make up the funding gap.
Okay? So the churl is not going to be called bountiful anymore. A lot of our people is about to feel the effects of what the Bible is talking about. You're going to feel it. The rollout is slow, it's gradual, but you're going to feel it. And this idea of a man not being necessary is soon going to go away. That's why the chapter started off in verse 2 saying a man is going to be as a hiding place. You don't get it yet, you're going to get it soon. You'll get it soon. It's okay. Let's keep going.
The federal government has clearly stated it will not pay for a state shortfall if they're not able to make that match. Then it's possible that states would have to withdraw from the.
I'm going to leave that there. Let's move on. It's a lot. So let's watch this now. So somebody's saying to themselves, okay, well, if my SNAP benefits are cut, right? I know what I'm gonna do. That church down the block from me, they be having food giveaways and they, they have hot meals, whatever. So me and my kids, we'll go down there, we'll eat, we'll be fine. They cut my SNAP benefits, but I already know a lot of these churches will give away food. They have food giveaways. They, cook for the people that are poor and homeless, so forth and so on. I'll just go to the church, right? That's what you say, right? Okay, watch this. Watch this.
Up here at 11, starting today.
Hold on, let me put the volume. I need y'all to hear this. Let me put the volume all the way up. Listen.
Millions of Americans could see their grocery budget shrink. The largest cut to food stamp benefits in U.S. history is now in effect, and officials estimate 2.4 million people will qualify each month. 2.4 million fewer people will qualify each month for those benefits. Fox 13's Evan Moon looked at the impacts of the changes to the SNAP program.
40 million Americans use SNAP benefits, and Florida has one of the highest enrollments. But with the new work requirements, many could lose access. I spoke with local food banks like the one behind me that worry families could go hungry.
So the food banks, which is supposed to be the backup, she spoke with them, because if they lose the SNAP, you just go to the food bank and get food there, right? Right? Okay. Let's keep going.
3 million Floridians are estimated to be using SNAP, 12% of the state's population, providing groceries to low-income families.
I only had $23 in food stamps, and I had to make that scratch, and it was not enough whatsoever. Still got the same story, but there's no help.
Y'all think these sisters chose the bear or not? I'm wondering. When the women gonna be mad at me today, it's all right. Y'all think they chose the bear or not? I don't know. I'm wondering.
$23 in food stamps, and I had to make that scratch, and it was not enough whatsoever. Still got the same story, but there's no help.
It's very hard to figure out how to feed my son and my daughter every night. On average, it's about $6.12 a day, but starting this week, millions will lose eligibility.
There are children that will not have access to healthy food. Right? There are families that will struggle to put good, healthy food on their tables. These have long-term repercussions.
Harsher requirements could put more strain on nonprofit food kitchens like Feeding Tampa Bay.
We're already looking after 1 million folks every day who need our support across the 10 counties we serve. They're already struggling. This will add several 100,000 new folks to our care.
The new work requirements.
So what he's saying, for those that missed it, once the SNAP benefits get cut, it's about estimated in Florida, about 100,000 more people are going to come to them, and they're not going to be able to cover all that. They're not going to be able to cover all that. Let's keep going.
Expand working age to 64, up from 40.
Anyway, you know what? Enough of that. That's okay. You guys get the idea. Let's go to the next one. So this is the churl not being bountiful. There's more. There's more. Yeah, there's more. So now, what is the reaction of our people on TikTok to Trump cutting SNAP benefits? Well, let's listen. Let's listen.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days.
No, I gotta. Yeah, okay, that's good enough. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. And I want you guys to understand something. I got to stop here. I don't want anybody, and if you do, you're stupid. I don't want anybody to think that I'm mocking this and laughing at it. I'm not. But sometimes you just got to talk to our people real, because niggas don't understand nothing but real talk. We go out in the streets and we talk to people like this, and we tell them what's coming, and they're not paying attention. It doesn't mean nothing to you. So you're going to suffer. It is what it is. I don't take no joy from this, but somebody got to say it. So we got to put it in a PowerPoint and show it to you. This place is going down. When this place goes down, the number one target is going to be you women. And we're trying to tell you that. You sisters in the truth, we know that y'all understand. But y'all need to be sounding the alarm for y'all family members, friends, co-workers, whatever. That's not the truth. Y'all might need to send them this video that I'm doing, and you tell me, I don't know. I don't know. Something needs to happen. Listen.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids. Trump done cut no food stamps.
I got to stop her right there. We got to go back and watch that again. It is not the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of your kids. It is your responsibility. And the father that fathered those children, who is supposed to be providing for those children, is their responsibility first. And that's what's wrong. And if she understood scripture, she would understand the Bible prophesies that the churl, which is the government, the taxpayers, is going to be called not bountiful after a while. After a while, you ain't going to be able to depend on that no more. Anyway, let's go.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's
if you're poor, don't have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids.
These, hey, I ain't gonna be no women listening next week. Listen, I think a lot of these sisters chose the bear. I'm just saying, man, it's
Don't
crazy.
bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have two, don't go having another one. If you have one, don't go having two more.
So they say 2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number, in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job.
It is not
to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken.
And that's why who you lay with and who you have children with, that's a whole nother class, right? It's a whole nother class. What she's saying ties into a whole nother class. Who you laying down with? And then when brothers try to come in and try to tell sisters, don't lay with that man, he's not ready. He's not responsible. He ain't got nothing going on. But he's over 6 feet and he wears size 12 shoes. So you want to lay with him and have a baby with him. He don't take care of his children after that. Now you looking stupid. But at the same time, you know, if a brother like myself or Ella Zahab or Ella Taraj trying to tell you something, we're trying to control you. The brothers are trying to rule the sisters and all this other bullshit. Because it's bullshit. It's called what it is. It's bullshit. I expect this from women in the world. Why I see it amongst women in Israel, I'll never understand. I won't understand. But I'm gonna tell you, Israelite sisters, something. If y'all keep going the way that these women in the world are going, y'all gonna suffer the same fate. Y'all don't listen to the brothers when brothers are trying to tell you things. Just because it's not what you want to do, you're gonna suffer the same fate. I'm keeping it real. We're too close to this right now to be pussyfooting with people. You're gonna suffer the same fate. Keep going.
Care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok, and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents.
Why do your followers on TikTok need to send you money? They didn't lay with you. They didn't make those babies. Why? And this is the desperation. And I want you to understand, it's going to get worse. We just saw. We didn't get there yet. I got something for y'all. Let's keep going.
If you're watching video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
She said if you're watching a video and you don't send her nothing, she's gonna block you. Let's keep going because this is crazy. Okay. Let's keep going. I told y'all today's class is gonna be tough. You know, it's gonna be hard. And that's exactly what I wanted. I don't care. Because I'm supposed to do this. This is my job. This is what the watchman does. I don't care. This is Isaiah 32, verse 6. It says, for the vile person shall speak villainy. That's Esau. Esau is going to begin to speak villainy. He's going to tell you what he's going to do, and he's going to do it. And it don't matter how you feel about what he's going to do. I want you guys to understand that they're talking about another government shutdown. Will thousands of federal workers be terminated, not just furloughed? When you furlough somebody, that means that, you know, if the government shuts down, you don't work while the government is shut down, but as soon as it opens back up, you come back. You know, Trump is saying we're going to fire these people permanently forever.
Hey, Priest, you should add that I want to say 75-80% of them government workers is black folks.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm building to that.
Okay. Because remember the last shutdown, I saw the sister. I don't know if you have that video lined up. She had to pawn her wedding ring. She worked for TSA.
I don't have that. I got the stats.
Okay,
You're in the spirit, Elizabeth. You're in the spirit, right? Yeah. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of why we're doing this. It's the whole point. Sound the alarm, which most people will not listen to. Even in the truth, you're not going to listen to this. You're not paying attention to what we're saying. This is just another class. You're going to go right back to sleep after the class is over. Anyway, listen.
The White House Budget Office is now threatening large-scale firings, permanent ones, if the government shuts down. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says this is an attempt at intimidation by the Trump administration. Joining us now is Democratic House Minority Whip Catherine Clark of Massachusetts. Thank you so much for being here. Let's start with this. You see the threat there, and I'm curious what you think that if you stand and the Democrats are seen as standing in the way of passing this continuing resolution and making sure that the government is funded and there's a government shutdown, that the Trump administration is preparing to fire mass firings, permanent mass firings of federal employees.
Now, I got a lot to go through, so we're not going to watch no more. You guys heard it. Trump is like, we're going to start firing federal employees if I don't get my way. Now, Elder Zahab already gave y'all the Cliff Notes, already gave y'all the secret. I don't have the videos he's talking about, but I got enough for me to demonstrate what he was talking about. So I said, you know what? Who's going to get fired? That's what I want to know. Let's start with this video right here. Let's go.
Hey, federal employees, especially at the VA, this update.
So,
hey, federal employees, especially at the VA, this update.
So I want you guys to understand some of the top cuts is the VA, veterans. That's how we know America is demonic. How do we know America is demonic? For the first people in line to get their jobs cut is the VA. Because the Bible teaches us in the book of the wisdom of Sirach, it teaches us that a man of war in our culture is supposed to be set by, meaning you don't discard men of war. Somebody that went to war to defend your nation, you take care of them. You don't allow them to languish and die because you don't take care of them. But America's demonic. So the first line of cutting is the VA. That's how I know this place got to be destroyed. Let's keep going.
Raise the stakes. Please share this with VA employees. Yesterday, Secretary Doug Collins told Congress that the agency is still planning to cut up to 80,000 jobs. But here's what's new and shocking.
80,000 VA jobs. So you guys understand, I worked in a building with the VA. Literally, I've worked there. The majority of workers for the VA is our people. I saw that with my own eyes. I saw that with my own eyes. I could keep playing, but time is of the essence. I'm going to go past that because there's more. There's a lot to get through. So I decided I wanted to have a conversation with AI because AI is taking over. Because I already knew the answer. Elder Zahab already gave you guys the answer. So rather than play a ton of videos and waste a lot of time, I said, let me just let AI tell y'all because, Anyway, so I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, y'all see the arrow right there. If Trump were to furlough federal employees, what types of workers would those be? And please provide sources. Y'all see that? Let's go to the next one. This is what I wanted to get to right here. Which types of federal workers would be furloughed, i.e. non-essential discretionary roles? This is what Zahab just taught y'all a minute ago. It says in past shutdowns, like he said, there was a sister that lost her job. She had to pawn her engagement ring or wedding ring, whatever he said. Engagement or wedding ring, whatever he said, right? She had to pawn that. Our people. AI is agreeing with what Zahab said. In past shutdowns, functions like national parks, visa passport processing, regulatory inspections, non-critical research, administrative support have been paused or reduced. The first people to go are these jobs, aka people that do security at national parks, people that do the janitorial, like cleaning the bathroom in the offices at national parks. Who do y'all think this is? This is us. Ushers, mechanical engineers, facility managers, the mail room, right? Services, food services, like some of these buildings have cafeterias in them. A lot of federal buildings have cafeterias in them. The cafeterias never came back after COVID. It's us. It's always been us. This is villainy that Esau is speaking. A lot of our people are going to be affected by this. And as we saw, the food banks are not ready to receive those of our sisters that serve in these capacities that are not in a relationship. You don't have a man for whatever reason. We're not going to get into that. You don't have nobody, but you got children. The food banks are not ready to receive you. You're trying to go for SNAP. A SNAP is cut. I just want y'all to soak that in, man. This is serious. I don't think people are really taking this as serious as it is. And it's all happening gradually while we are being distracted on social media with things that are not important. Okay. Let's keep going.
You know, priest, our people are like perfect. You're going into the scripture 32:7, right? You know, our people been living on a dime, so to speak, for so long that we think that the vintage will never fail. You always gonna have SNAP. You always gonna have Section 8. You always gonna have some type of program, which I will not front. It did help a lot of our people, even to this day.
Huh?
But I think it's the mindset, priest. That's what it is. Because our people like to wag the finger and tell, oh, don't have any kids, don't have no da, da, da. You're not. How is that helping the situation? You need to change their mindset. That's what it is. Their mindset has to change. They know, like, all right, if before you lay down, you got to get a brother who's his mind, he's a militant minded brother. He's there for his family, he's there for his children. You can't lay down like what you said, priest, with some 6 foot tall brother, 6-pack abs, and that's it. That's it. He ain't got nothing going on in his brain, nothing going on in his spirit, just gonna lead you down a path of destruction. So, like you said, man, the Most High is mocking us. He's gonna deliver us, but boy, he having a laugh of his time right now. So,
yeah,
all praises.
And we're going to talk about next week, if the Most High allow, unless something else deters me to teach something else. Next week, we're going to talk about how we got here. I'm going to show you how Esau had systematically destroyed the black family, the Israelite family, the Latino family, the Native American family, how we was systematically destroyed. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, so this is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 7. It says, the instruments of the churl are evil. So I wanted to identify what a churl is because I said earlier that I was going to define what it was before we go further. So you guys can see that the definition of the word evolved over time. By the time we get to the Middle Ages, it means villain, right? It means bore, somebody that's a bore or a villain, person that's not a good person. So the churl, the villain, has instruments that they use to destroy the people. I don't know what this is. Anyway, I don't know what that
Now
is.
tuned into the motherfucking
Wait.
greatest.
I don't know what that is. Now that got into the PowerPoint slide. Hold on a second, y'all. I don't even know how that got into the PowerPoint slide at all. Anyway, y'all pardon me on that. I don't even know how that got in there, which is crazy. I do these things so fast at times I think I'll be moving too fast. Anyway, let's go back to the slideshow. So the word here means, I'm looking up the word instruments, right? It means something that can be weaponized, so you guys can understand. Something that can be weaponized. An instrument is something that can be weaponized against us. Let's go to the next slide.
Now,
Let's go to the next one. Just trying to. One instrument that they use against us are unjust laws. They pass unjust laws that negatively affect our people. So it says, Psalm 94, verse 20 to 21, it says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by laws. So there are certain laws that are put in place that negatively affect our people and helps destroy our community. I'm going to give you guys a precursor to the class I'm going to do in the future about how the black family was destroyed. How many of you brothers and sisters, that those of you that are on YouTube, you guys could put it in the chat. For those of you that are on Clubhouse, you guys could put it in the chat as well. If you have ever heard of a law that was passed called the No Man in the House law, put 1 in the chat. If you haven't heard of it, put 2. There's a law that was passed called No Man in the House. If you've heard of that, put 1 in the chat. If you've never heard of that, put 2 in the chat. These things actually exist. I'll demonstrate them in the future. That's mischief. Once you remove the man out the house, you remove the provider, which is why our women are bugging out about SNAP being removed. They don't know how they're going to feed their children. You also remove the protection out the house as well. That's evil. It's an instrument. It's evil. And they weaponize these things against our people, and our people can't see it. Let's move on. Another instrument that's used against our people is the media. Whether it be mainstream media, social media, so forth and so on, all of that stuff is controlled. And as I told you earlier, I believe the whole gender war, mainly in our community, that's dividing us, is being weaponized by Esau. He uses the algorithm, and he has man against women. That's what it is. And it's destroying us. Another instrument that they use, and I love hip hop. I'm a hip hop artist myself. Is our music. Listen.
When we start cleaning up our communities, multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar companies is gonna lose money, right? And they feed their families off of us killing each other. They send their children to school off of us killing each other. They live in mansions and drive on yachts off of us killing each other. The ambulance, the police officers, the pharmaceutical industry. When you get shot up and you got to take them perks and them pills, that's money. You see what I'm saying? That they losing when we stop killing each other. The ride to the ambulance, you get a hospital bill for that. They start losing money when we stop killing each other. You understand what I'm saying? The obituaries, the funeral homes, they start losing money. The lawyers that we paying millions of dollars to get us off this case, they start losing money when we stop killing each other. So you don't think it's somebody that's sitting in the back responsible for making sure that we keep killing each other so that they can keep eating? When you go to prison, each inmate, they make money, bro, off of the inmates up in there. They make money off of our free labor in prison, building stuff for them. You see what I'm saying? So you don't think there's people out here that's like, no, let me promote this rapper talking about sliding on the ops. Let me promote you trolling these brothers for somebody that you done killed. Because the more you incite them to murder and kill, the more we eat.
Do I need to comment on that, or is that clear? I think that's clear. It's an instrument that's being used and it's evil to destroy our people. Verse 8. It says, but the liberal deviseth liberal things. So I want you guys to understand, earlier it spoke about the churl was called liberal, but they're not. The so-called white man that calls himself a liberal, he's not. Like Lyndon Johnson, Franklin Roosevelt, they were not. But there actually are people that are really liberal. When you go and you do your research, I did it for y'all. You can go do your research. That word liberal here in verse 8 is talking about nobles. The Hebrew word is nadiyab. Those of us that are nadiyab, noble, we devise nadiyab, noble things. We try to teach our people to repent from all this stuff. And by liberal, noble things shall we stand. We stand on righteousness. In the midst of all the wickedness, we try to tell our people to repent from that and do what's right. It's not popular. It's not. Let's move on. Now, let's go to this, right? This is Isaiah 32, verse 9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, and give ear unto my speech. A lot of our women are at ease. I got to stay on y'all because this needs to be said. But it's coming from a man. Let me let my sister cook. She's going to tell y'all what y'all don't want to hear from priests. Listen.
I know you guys know this, but I'm here
Hold
to tell
on.
you this
I'm
again.
going to let her cook. I got to turn the volume up, though. Because now we're going to get to the part of the lesson that's really going to affect a lot of you sisters. It's going to affect y'all spirit. You'll be all right, though. You're going to come out the other side. You'll be all right. It's okay. This needs to be said. Listen.
I know you guys know this, but I'm here to tell you this again because I feel like you aren't taking it seriously. Social media isn't real. You hear it all the time. I know. But the thing is, I think that a lot of us still forget when we are in the depths of watching other people live their lives on.
I need for y'all to understand one thing. Chapter started off in verse 2 saying what? A man's going to be as a hiding place. It's letting you women know you are out of order. You need to get back in order with your man Because some of you sisters are at ease because social media is teaching you to be at ease. Like you got it like that. And most people on social media are fake. You don't need no man. We women, we're doing great. We're doing great. We're making our money, whatever. That's fake, 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 fake. It started off telling you the man is the key. But many can't receive that.
I know you guys know this, but I'm here to tell you this again because I feel like you aren't taking it seriously. Social media isn't real. You hear it all the time. I know. But the thing is, I think that a lot of us still forget when we are in the depths of watching other people live their lives on social media, that a lot of it can very much be not real. No matter how much you hear it, I know it can be incredibly difficult to remind yourself of that when you're watching the ins and outs of someone's day and wondering how it could possibly not be real. Of course, not going to go into any details or name any specifics, but with how many conversations I've had lately about people that I have seen on social media that other people know in real life, and I am finding out that a lot of the people that I think look like they have the picture perfect life on social media have some messed up things going on behind the scenes.
Because it's not real. The social media is teaching you to fake it out here like you're doing great by yourself. You're doing wonderful, whatever. You don't need no man. You don't need this. You don't need that. You're a boss, whatever like that. None of that's going on. Meanwhile, people are about to be laid off and furloughed from their jobs, and it's going to be us. Let's move on. Y'all get the idea. I ain't got to play the whole video for most of these. Let's go move on.
I know you guys.
Now we're about to get into some stuff. How many brothers and sisters remember, whether you were alive during it or you've heard about it, about Hurricane Katrina, that really, really devastated mainly Louisiana, New Orleans specifically? Y'all remember that? I remember that like it was yesterday. The man Kanye West says George Bush don't care about black people. I remember that. Some of you guys remember. Some of you are too young to remember. Some of y'all weren't born when it happened. I'm here to help you out. Remember, the Bible said, rise up, you women that are at ease, right? Women are on social media faking the funk. We don't need no man. When the chapter starts off saying a man's going to be his hiding place. But you don't need one. You choose the bear. Okay. Let me help y'all out. This is a video going back to what happened during Hurricane Katrina. We're going to talk about reality. Some of you guys have seen this. Some of you have never seen this. We're going to start off at 8 minutes. And I want you guys to listen very carefully from 8 minutes on. So let's go ahead to 8 minutes into the video. And I just want y'all to hear this. It's going to go by real fast, so you know I'm going to give some commentary on it. Isn't that right? Let's go.
Did you get that, Scott? What you saw there was something that we've been experiencing pretty much for the last 2 days. You can see the streets are still flooded down here. So
What's the title of today's video, today's class? Who's going to be faithful? Who is going to be faithful when all hell breaks loose? This is an example of all hell breaking loose, Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. If you're in the midst of this, are you going to be faithful still? You going to keep the commandments still? Let's keep going. Listen.
What are you seeing down here?
Seeing all kind of stuff. I mean, just people looting and different kind of stuff like that. It's just total chaos. Really. Yeah.
It's chaos. What's the security like here?
The security is pretty strong. We got more soldiers in today, and I think everything will be all right once we get all these people out of here.
And as you can see,
I need y'all to pay attention. Listen.
It's not a pretty sight, and I can tell you.
This is chaos in the flesh. This is a forerunner to what's about to happen again. When that city was flooded out, everybody was at the Superdome, for the ones that didn't want to leave their house. Look at how they're living. Look. Somebody come look at this.
Yeah, the smell is not that great either. But these people look like they've been here for quite some time. actually, the smell is actually putrid.
What is that total? I mean, 16? 9, I mean 9.
And there you see the frustration, confusion. Man, it was hectic. Urine everywhere. I mean,
listen. I need y'all to listen to this. You sisters, I need y'all to listen to this. Listen to this. Listen.
Man, it was hectic. Urine everywhere. I mean, a lot of people. Yeah, rape.
Wait. Y'all lost it. Stop it. They didn't hear it. They didn't hear it. What happened to the sisters in the Superdome during Hurricane Katrina? They didn't hear it. They wasn't paying attention. They sure as hell wasn't. Listen again.
Frustration, confusion. Man, it was hectic. Urine everywhere. I mean, a lot of people. Yeah, rape.
Did y'all hear that? What was happening to the sisters that weren't covered in the Superdome? Somebody missed. I'm gonna play it again. Yeah, you can play it again. I'm gonna play it again. I'll play it again. Yeah.
Man, it was hectic. Urine everywhere. I mean, a lot of people. Yeah, rape, all type of violence, and just water rising everywhere in the city. We just glad to be out.
The sisters that were not covered were getting violated when all hell broke loose. The sisters had no covering. Were given. I know it's tough to hear, but what y'all want me not to tell you? Some of y'all are too young to remember this. You want me not to tell you? That's exactly what was happening.
Hey, priest.
What do you think the Bible is talking about? Go ahead.
That R word is wicked in itself. It's wicked as hell. But I said this the last time. I'm gonna say it again. What kind of mindset you gotta have to be thinking about taking advantage of a woman in that type of predicament, bruh? People ain't take a bath in damn near weeks. The place smell like you know what, and all that's on your mind is you gonna, take somebody. That's crazy.
It's demonic, but we try to tell us this. Don't let social media fool you. Some Israelite women are with this stupid shit in the world. With the social media trying to fool you, don't need no band, menace, the barrel. It's stupid. It's stupid, and you're gonna end up just like this. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
How's your baby doing? You don't want to be on? I respect that.
You can't use the bathroom because you can't flush the toilet. The feces over everything. All this. I work at a hospital, so the smell, I'm used to it, but I can't eat anything because I throw up.
Why are you throwing up?
That's from that smell and just thinking about it. It's everywhere.
You're looking at the first incredible video from inside the New Orleans Superdome
Chaos. Look at
since the
that.
evacuation. We were the first camera crew allowed inside. Shafts of light from gaping holes in the roof illuminate the scene. Remnants of hell for up to 35,000 people.
We kind of hit this ramp where, as you can see, there are personal belongings all along.
This is
where
coming
people
back.
Camped out for days, waiting to be rescued.
This is what all hell looks like.
For people, what they put up with, and the loss of their homes. People lost family members.
As we enter the Superdome's dark, forbidding corridors, it's easy to see how families were separated, how there were reportedly rapes and sheer anarchy.
Wait, they lost it. They didn't hear that. They didn't hear that. They didn't hear that. Gotta play it again. There was what? There was what?
What they put up with, and the loss of their homes. People lost family members.
As we enter the Superdome's dark, forbidding corridors, it's easy to see how families were separated, how there were reportedly rapes and...
I'll just let that marinate. So you choose the bear if you want. You say you don't need a man if you want. Okay. You got an argument for me. Let's move on. Listen.
Many disturbing images have emerged in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, but some of the darkest went unrecorded inside.
We don't want this to happen to our people. But our people are not listening. This is years ago. We're coming back to a situation where this is going to come back again. Understand? Listen.
Superdome. Thousands of evacuees sought refuge in that shelter of last resort, only to be subjected to an unspeakable breakdown of law and order. KTVU's Ken Wayne went to New Orleans.
So when the unspeakable breakdown of law and order comes, will we be faithful? That's today's class. See, I know it took a long time for us to get here, but we're here now. Okay.
Where he talked to California rescue workers who experienced the horror firsthand.
The hellish conditions inside the Louisiana Superdome were so bad, even those who were there have trouble describing it.
Many of our members have said it was worse than the Ground Zero experience in New York City. It's quite an intense experience, beyond words.
35 Bay Area men and women were sent to the Superdome complex. They're part of a disaster medical assistance team called California 6. When you first arrived on the scene and we heard pop, 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 there were...
So the rescue workers arrived and Jake still had their guns, which we're going to get to in a minute. Jake was popping their guns off at first till Esau came and took them because they're going to take them. We're going to get there in a minute. You guys that are supposed to be in the God First Gang room and in the SOS room, y'all go ahead. But I'm going to probably go a little bit over. I want to get through this because this is important. So I'm going to get through this. Let's go.
There were gunshots fired before we even got down off the off-ramp. Yeah, I knew my life was in danger. There was no power, air conditioning, water. Thousands were stranded in wretched conditions. The toilets were overflowing onto the floors, and all of that stuff contributed to the general chaos and lawlessness. It was truly apocalyptic. Violence erupted, and there wasn't enough security to stop it. We had rape victims.
What the?
There's that word again.
Because people think we're just doing this to be mean. No, when society goes down, you're the target. The sisters don't understand, and we're trying to tell them, you don't understand. Over and over, video after video, you're the target. The Bible says in Isaiah 32, verse 2, a man is going to be in a hiding place for a reason. You need a covering for a reason.
And you know that it's like, you know, the cherry on the cake. You know, it was a black mayor, right? Some dude named Nagin. You remember that dude?
Yes, of course, Ray Nagin.
Ray Nagin. And I don't think he owned the Super Bowl, but he had some interest in it. In the Superdome, I mean. He had interest in it, and he was the mayor at the time. Horrible Democrat. Horrible planning, all that. And you had the National Guard, and you couldn't do nothing for black folks. So I ain't putting my trust in no man.
That's what Malcolm told us about these liberals, right? This is their job now. You mean like me? Let's just think we're just no. We're trying to tell you because nobody else is going to tell you this. You don't have to be under a man's protection. Meaning, sisters, let me help y'all. And again, for those of y'all that have to go into other rooms, y'all go ahead. Being under a man's protection does not mean that the man is sleeping with you. A righteous brother is not going to try to sleep with every woman that's under his protection. I'm teaching y'all. I'm gonna let you come in right now, so I'm teaching y'all. I'm showing y'all history. You do need to. That's Isaiah 4:1. We just let us be called by your name. There's a reason for that. Because when society goes down, you sisters are a mark. I'm trying to tell you, this old, strong, independent. Y'all see what's happening in New Orleans? No, there was none of that. When society goes down, there's none of that. There's
And when you're in a congregation, don't be mad if the elders want to know what's going on and want to know what the status is, who you betrothed to, who you married. If you're not, we are watching over you, sis. Ain't nobody. That's another thing too, man. Who's your congregation, right? Who you want to deal with, right? Because some dudes, they wolves and they over the flock, and you know what I'm talking about. They'll just go through the flock, devouring whatever they want. But when you come to a congregation and the elders care about you and leadership, like, hey, you all right, sis? I don't think you need to be dealing with that one right there. And you try to tell me what to do. It's because we care about you. But go ahead, priest.
I don't know. Hey, if they can't get it from the videos, because it's not me and you talking, it's the videos talking. You're seeing over and over again, y'all were marks. Y'all gonna be marks again when this goes down. I don't know what to tell you, man. Let's go.
It was truly apocalyptic. Violence erupted, and there wasn't enough security to stop it. We had rape victims. We had.
Okay, they heard that. Let's move on. Because Azab, let's I'm gonna come back to this in a minute. I'm gonna come back to that the slideshow in a minute. Because they're thinking, well, priest, somebody is saying, priest, we hear you. That was just New Orleans. It was a little crazy. They ain't really so how are we gonna move from New York? I mean, from New Orleans? And we're gonna come to New York where we're from. Brothers and sisters, if chaos erupts in New York, where the women were being violated in New Orleans, do you guys think in New York, if chaos erupts, the women are gonna be violated here too?
Nah, man, it's New York, man. It's New York.
Somebody said, yo, that was just New Orleans. I'm gonna help you out because I know niggas are stupid. So there was something, I got it on the screen, but let's go back. There was something in New York called Hurricane Sandy in 2012, right? Because y'all thought it was just Katrina. That was an isolated incident. No, here up north, there was another hurricane called Sandy in 2012. What do you guys think happened to the women up here? You want to know? I'll play the video for you. Sure. Let's play the video. Listen, let me put the volume all the way up. Let's put it all. Wait.
Now about the election, I can tell you that folks here in the Red Hook section of Brooklyn aren't worried about voting tomorrow. They're simply worried about surviving. The storm damage is not visible now. The waters have receded. There's very little help here on the ground, but there are thousands of people in need of help. We entered one of the public housing projects here. We've got some pictures of it. There are thousands and thousands of people who live in Red Hook in public housing. The conditions, they say, after the storm are now deplorable, and that's what we saw. We had to climb a stairwell, 10 flights. There were no emergency lights. There was debris in the stairwell. There was human waste in this stairwell. We was told that a rape had taken place.
Sal, did you hear that? Is it just me, or did you hear that?
Kind of the one I heard.
Yeah. Hey, somebody didn't hear it, so let's go back. Somebody didn't hear it. Let's go back. This is in New York now, because we thought it was just Katrina. Listen again.
Well, there was human waste in this stairwell. We was told that a rape had taken place there.
This is in New York. Another hurricane happened in New York. What happened? The same thing. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing. We try to tell our people. Nobody wants to hear what we have to say. It's just to hell with these niggas. They dress like Power Rangers. Okay. Let's go back now. Now, I just wanted to show you guys that because somebody might have thought it was just Hurricane Katrina. No, Hurricane Sandy up here too. And anywhere else. Let's be real. Okay. Now we can come back here and we can see that they made sure that we couldn't protect ourselves either. Look.
That includes New Orleans, where today authorities stepped up their efforts to empty the city. Bob Woodruff is there again tonight with an extraordinary human drama unfolding. Bob?
That's true, Elizabeth, and good evening from New Orleans. Here, the police and the National Guard find themselves in a very difficult position tonight to try to carry out an order to force people from the city without actually using force.
Today in New Orleans, they got a lot tougher on the holdouts. Not only the flooded areas, but New Orleans' driest and wealthiest neighborhoods, too. The police and National Guard going street by street, house to house.
We need to make sure, too, that whenever we knock on doors, people...
This is going to happen again. Let's keep going.
Usually need to make note, call it in.
They say there are no orders to use force, just strong persuasion, sometimes entering open houses with guns drawn, and instructions to disarm anyone inside.
Anybody inside, with New Orleans is a Second Amendment state, which means you are allowed to have firearms to defend yourselves. But during a natural disaster like this, they invoke certain laws like martial law, where now even it supersedes your constitutional right to have a gun. They can come and take it from you. But you're saying you're staying home to protect your house. They take the gun away from you. Guess what you can't do no more? You can't protect your house no more. Esau's the devil. Anyway, let's go.
On. and instructions to disarm anyone inside.
You say guns will be taken? No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
So no one's going to allow to be armed, meaning that when this went down, the people that decided to stay, I'm going to defend my house, I have enough weapons to defend my house, they disarmed you and left you as food for whomever comes and gets you. That's how it was. This is going to happen again, because I know some of our sisters said, well, this whole thing, I some of our sisters are well armed. I even when I go to the gun range, I see women there, black women there. So you got guns, you feel like you're well armed. Well, when something like this goes down, this martial law, they can come and take that from you. And now you're unarmed and you're also uncovered. Anyway. Let's jump over to verse number 10. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. Listen.
In 2025, over 47 million Americans, including 1 in 5 children, are facing hunger. This isn't just a statistic, it's a crisis. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the hidden hunger affecting millions across the United States. Economic challenges are a big part of the problem. Inflation has skyrocketed, and the rollback of pandemic relief efforts has left 47.4 million people living in food-insecure households in 2024. Just think about that. Nearly 1 in 7 Americans struggling to put food on the table. Then there are the supply chain disruptions. The avian flu outbreak led
to there's supply chain disruptions, which is why your supermarkets are less and less filled. And especially during the pandemic, they were not filled. This is all planned. I'm not going to play the whole video. Let's go to the next one. Your man, Bill Gates, is buying all your farmland so they can control the food supply. Listen.
Yo, everybody's talking about coronavirus on TV or this new monkey pox virus or talking about high-ass gas prices. But something that I'm going to report to you that you ain't going to see on mainstream media and even probably not even on social media is the fact that Bill Gates is secretly buying all the farmland in America. Here's the demographic behind me.
Why?
And this is all the acreage he's purchased so far. Almost 300,000 acres of farmland in the United States. What do you think he's going to do with it? Is there going to be a big food shortage coming here soon? He try to capitalize.
He's going to control the food supply along with the government, and also sell you a lot of GMO garbage as well, right? Modified garbage as well. It's all the same. The Bible is right. Just because people don't read it or they don't understand it, it's right. We're watching it happen in front of our eyes. And the watchmen, the teachers, are showing it to our people. Our people in the truth, you accept it, but in the world, when we go out in the streets, they don't want to hear it. So they're going to suffer, unfortunately. And unfortunately, this chapter in Isaiah 32 hones in mainly on the women. Because unfortunately, in our community, because of what Esau did, the women are the heads of households in our community. And there's a whole conversation that can be had about that. We'll do that in another class, right? Definitely a lot of brothers are deadbeats, sure. Some women will run the man off too, sure. We'll have that conversation later. But our women are basically running the household in our community. And so this is going to disproportionately affect them. We try to tell them, we try to warn them, like you need a covering. It's not to control you. It's not to manipulate you. It is because a man that is not somebody that cares about you sees you as a mark. Because generally speaking, the man is bigger and stronger. So he sees you as a mark. But you're not so much a mark when there is a hedge. Anyway, where we at? Let's go to the next slide. We're going to end it right here because I know that was a lot already. There's a lot more I could have did, but I'm going to end it right here because everybody's already disturbed. This is Psalms 46, starting at verse 1. It says, Yahweh God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in the time of trouble. We have to rely on the Most High and keep the faith. Therefore, will we not fear? I'm not telling you, brothers and sisters, these things for you to fear. I'm telling you these things so that you know what to expect. So when you see certain things happening, you are not disturbed by them because you already expected them to happen. And also, I tell you these things, and the other teachers tell you these things to position yourself correctly so that when these things happen, you are not negatively affected as much as somebody that didn't know. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Salah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. The Most High is in the midst of Jerusalem. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that rightly early, and that right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, and the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The Most High is with us, brothers and sisters. Even in the midst of what all that we see, God, Yahweh, is with us. We have to believe that. It's all we have. We really don't have anything else. With all these plans that Esau has and what they're implementing is, we have to believe that the Most High is with us. Outside of that, we're going to be destroyed. Everybody else. With this AI technology and everything they have coming, if we don't believe that the Most High is with us, that's basically you succumbing to the fact that the system is going to come and most of us are going to be destroyed by it. We ain't going to have no jobs because AI is taking all the jobs. If you don't opt into their system and believe everything they say, you're not going to be able to buy anything from a store. You're not going to be able to receive no health care. They can shut your bank account down. All these things through digital currency. You can be really literally frozen out the system to the point where you die because of it, because you can't take care of yourself, sustain yourself. We have to believe in the Most High. There's nothing else. It's either believe in the Most High or just give into the beast system. What do you choose? Verse 7, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge, Selah. The Most High is our shelter and our covering through his word, and his teachers and his prophets and his watchmen are the covering for everybody else through his word. That's how it goes. Verse 8, come behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth, because there's desolations prophesied for these wicked that plan on coming against us. He maketh wars to cease. Yahweh Shah is going to make wars to cease because he's going to be what? The King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's what we started. Revelations 19, verse 11 on down. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear asunder. He burneth the chariot in fire. This is what Yahweh Shah is going to do. He's going to destroy these other nations and be the King of Kings and Lord of Lords and set his elect up as his joint heirs. We're going to be the princes that will rule with him in judgment if we keep the commandments. Be still and know that I am God, Yahweh. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. And we have to believe that. And don't let anybody shame you for your belief. Well, you just believing in something that you can't see. Don't let nobody shame you for that, because guess what? If you don't believe in this, you might as well just believe in the system that's coming, because you can see the AI coming. You can see it. And you can see how it's going to freeze everybody out of it that does not agree with the system. So it's two choices. Either you succumb to that or you believe what is written. We choose to believe what is written because we know what's coming is evil. With that being said, I'm going to stop right there, Zahab. If you have anything you want to bring out, the floor is yours, King.
Excellent class, priest. Excellent class, man. You know, you're doing an excellent job warning the people. So it's whether they hear or forbear, because everything that's written before our time is for our learning and edification, right? So if you're wise, you stop, you listen, you start making plans. Hey, I do want to say this also. Don't get sucked into other people who will mock you and say, well, look, we got to save ourselves. Nobody's coming back to get you. You ever hear that? You ever see that on social media? People be making their motivational videos like, nobody's coming to save you. No, our Lord and Savior, Hamashiach Yahushua, he is coming to save us. So you gotta understand, it's two-sided. Yes, you choose the Most High. Yes, you have faith in the Most High, and you also have to do works. You also have to prepare yourself, right? So, excellent class, priest. Excellent class, and yeah, that's it. All praise to the Most High. I hope everybody learned something from this, man.
Now, I do want to say that, and I'm not going to say it on here per se, and although we've kind of fallen away from it, but I will say this because I know there's a lot of people that's not a part of LOI that listen to these classes. Leadership of your camp should be talking to you brothers and sisters and teaching you brothers and sisters of things to do when society begins to unravel, and how, the plans that are in place to keep, what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, covered, because the leadership is coverings. That's what we talked about. We're the coverings. So what is the plan, right? I won't talk about it on here. At one time I was going to do a class on here, and I was advised by my advisors around me, don't do that stuff on it because Esau sees it too. So if you fall under our leadership, these are conversations we'll have outside of here. If you fall under other leadership, these are questions you have to ask about what is the plan. Like, when situations start really getting hectic out here, what do we do with our sisters in the camp that don't have a husband but have children, and our food banks can't cover them, and this third can't happen? Like, what is the plan? And I don't think there's enough of that in this community, but I only can really cover LOI, and that's not to be selfish, but that's really literally that's all I can cover. So
That's not being selfish, brother. Because you can't stretch yourself too thin. You're not your house shy. You know what I mean? You just gotta take care of your immediate surroundings, brother. That's wisdom. You try to stretch yourself too thin, and then you can't. You end up in a place where you can't help nobody. So,
before we go, though, I do have my brother Elder Terah on the stage, and I know he had he's on fire. He had a lot of things he wanted to say. I just want to get through the lesson, but Elder Terah, if there's anything that you want to say, you can come off mute, and you definitely could bring it out. You know what I'm saying? The people are definitely listening to King.
Let me back on you with the Republican that we did come out in 1860, and they're actually doing what they call the Reconstruction era, who was actually making a lot of serious moves in the Republican parties. We was passing laws. Surprisingly, they was amazed that these slaves that they said couldn't read or write was able so sufficient and doing so much things in the Republican Party that they started getting angry, and that's actually when you see the Klan start rising up to bring fear and got us out of the Republican Party. So somewhere down the line, the Democrats sneakily used what they would call money and funding and all type of benefits to get us to go on their side. Because if you look at a lot of the Democrats, Margaret Sanger, I think her name is, from the eugenic program, she was a Democrat. George Wallace, the one that stood in front of the schools and said black kids can't come into the school, he was a Democrat. You know what I mean? So they have definitely played a serious role as far against us, and for some reason we fell for the okie doke. But the Bible tells you that a gift destroys the heart. They gave us these benefits, they gave us these programs and all of that, and we sucked it up. But to your point, Daniela, where the scriptures say, yes, the leaders should be telling their people what to do. We should be preparing. We see it coming. And I think every decent leader, a good leader in Israel, has some kind of plan for his people. But, the Most High tells you things when it talks about work. I read the scripture real quick in Proverbs 6, and it says, go to the ants, thou sluggish, and consider her ways, and be wise, which have no guide or overseer or ruler, or provides her meat in the summer, and gathers all her food in the harvest. Along with thy sleep, O sluggish, when will thou arise out of thy sleep? But this is saying the littlest creature on the earth has prepared itself with meat, prepare themselves for things that's going to come. They prepare. And that's the smallest creature on the earth. So why can't we, which is basically operating on the instinct, don't even have the brainwave. Why can't we do the same? We see this thing coming. obviously, like Priest Daniela was talking about, the AI is definitely going to take away your jobs, man. You're going to take away your jobs. Right now, if you go to hotels, certain hotels, they got a robot coming in. You can call downstairs and a robot will come and give you your food, your towels, or whatever you need. So, we see it. A wise man sees the things in his head before it happens. So we have to prepare, man. But good class, all praises.
I appreciate you, Ella Tara. All praise to the Most High. So we're out of here. We're here every week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube. If you guys haven't subscribed to the YouTube, if you're on Clubhouse, make sure you guys are here 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every week. If the Most High allows, unless something major goes on next week, we're going to talk about the destruction of the Black family that led to everything that we're talking about, where our sisters are alone and there's no man. And so a lot of them are going to wind up being taken advantage of, like they were taken advantage of during Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Sandy and everything else that has happened. We're going to talk about how that happened, why it happened, who the culprits were. We're going to talk about the next week if the Most High allows. Much love to y'all. It's your brother Priest Daniela, representing Lines of Israel, along with Ella Zahab and our special guest, Ella Tara. We love y'all. We're out of here. We'll see you guys again next week. With that, I say shalom.
I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? Her name is Babylon. I call her Babs for short. She has a lot of lovers. She lets them pass her port. She has a love affair with every foreign nation. She has a favorite wine. Its name is fornication. She has a purple robe. She has a pearly necklace. And if you worship Caesar, she'll give you worldly blessings. She's insatiable. She cannot hide her passion. Last week, somebody said she rides a dragon. I know it's crazy, but the question is why she had to put a crown upon its 7 heads. And it's even deeper. I had to peep the madness. She made war with the saints that tried to keep commandments. And since she killed the righteous and won't let me be, when she burns, it won't be from an STD. Bodies everywhere, both man and beast. And on that day, the birds are gonna have a feast. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? Show me the finest girl. Babs is just as pretty. Her name is Babylon. The girl is such a mystery. Yeah, she's been that way since we were little kids. She nicknamed me Mark like I was 666. She said, you want my number? I said, you high as hell. She said, you need my number or you can't buy or sell. She said, take my number. I know that I can't make you, but I'm espoused to Christ and I'm staying faithful. Isaiah had a vision. He saw the elevation. Jesus preached the gospel. John had a revelation. Her lovers hated Babs, so they burned her up. What's upside down? The Lord could always turn it up. You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? You let everybody get a turn. When the angels come, I'ma scream, let her burn. You let everybody get a ride. Did you really think God was gonna let it slide? I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon. I'm telling Babylon.